Welcome to Itz Yourz TV. I'm Dondre Phoenix. Of course, the world is yours. Live your dream. And today we have a very special guest. As a matter of fact, he's in his first term as county councilman. And I tell you, this gentleman is extraordinary. And he's currently running the Denton Field office, amongst so many other things. We're going to get into that. And matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to let him talk about it because his resume is extensive. Mr. Corey Pack, welcome to the show.
Thank you, DeAndre.
And it's great that you're a Cowboys fan, and that
Yes,
just brought a smile to my face.
I see that.
So talk a little bit about you now. Of course, you've been in Talbot County for, how long have you been here on the show? I know
Since 2004. Okay. 2002, actually.
2002. And where are you originally from?
From Baltimore County, from Dundalk, small little town called Turner Station. If you're familiar with the shipyard there in Duffinsville, it's right across the creek. Just where I grew up, fishing and playing baseball all day long and riding bikes and building go-karts. And that was one of the things that really drew my interest to Talbot County when I first came over here with my family, is that it gave me the same feeling, the same appeal of that community that I grew up with. It was very outdoors, a lot of green grass, a lot of open space. As I said before, fishing, crabbing, being near the water, and just having the appreciation for nature, one of the things that really attracted me here to come, and also the people. I mean, the one thing that I say about Talbot County people is that they are people who don't mind rolling up their sleeves and putting in the work. We have a strong sense of volunteerism here in the county. No matter where I go, from Oxford to St. Michael's up to Cordova, I'm always running to people who are willing to put their shoulder to the plow and help out with whatever initiative we have to put forward to the county. So it's good to work with people who don't mind, again, rolling up their sleeves and putting in the work, and it makes the job that much more easier.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. Let's talk a little bit about being at the state the economy is in, nationwide,
right,
and you being on the county council. Talk about how that affects Talbot, how it's affecting Talbot County.
Well, of course, our revenues come down through the state, and they've been flashing, as you've read in the paper and as you heard. We lost over $3 million of our roads department. So right now, currently, we're working on about $77,000 to try to get the roads repaired here in the county, and hopefully we won't be hit with any major snowstorms.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, that really would affect us. Yeah.
Well, we have the crew. We were fortunate this year through our budgetary process. We did not have to lay off any of our employees, so everyone kept their jobs. We will be going through a furlough system, and there will be 2 days for persons who are under $30,000 a year. 30 to 39,000 would be 3 days, and then between 40 to 49,000 would be 3 days, and then above $40,000 would be a 5-day furlough. So we have a tiered approach, of course, trying to minimize the impact on those persons making less money, to give them less furlough days that they would have to take, and those persons who are making a greater salary taking more furlough days. But the good side of it, as I said before, no one was laid off. We did have to freeze some vacant positions that we had in various departments, so those positions will not be filled. And we're just hoping to weather the next round of cuts. And from what we're hearing through MACO and some other state departments, is that there will be a good deficit coming through the state again this year. And where those cuts will hit us, we really don't know at this time. So we're just trying to brace for that hit. And it's not just here in Talbot, but next door in Carolina and Dorchester, feeling the impact of the current situation.
Yeah. Now, how has the situation affected the unemployment rate in Talbot County?
Well, we're high, maybe not as high as some other surrounding areas. Right now, we're about 7% unemployment rate. I think this time last year we were somewhere around 4.5%, maybe 5% unemployment rate. So you can see just in a 12-month cycle where we've gone to. I know to the south of us, Dorchester, they're probably somewhere about 10% unemployment rate. So we're weathering the storm better than some areas,
right,
and that's a blessing. But in this economy right now, we're trying to maintain those companies that we do have in the county. Paige Becky, our economic development person, has been very active with retention and expansion. We're probably not going to see much in the line of new businesses coming to the area not right now, because the lending market has to be in a position where they feel comfortable about lending those dollars that it's going to take to transfer and move companies from one region to another part of the country. So our main focus is trying to retain those companies and those businesses that we do have, where expansion is needed, work along with those companies to expand. Of course, it's a major county project right now. This was the hospital.
Right.
And as you know, the county purchased 265 acres of land just to the north of us, right north of the airport, and that will be the new regional hospital zone. We've been working very closely with the town of Easton and with the representatives of the hospital to make that a reality. And I think those negotiations are going very well. We were meeting with those representatives last 2 weeks ago. They came in just to go with the zoning regulations and the annexation process, that land will be annexed into the town of Easton.
Okay.
And what mechanisms will have to take place if the unfortunate event that the hospital is not built there, how that land will be reverted back to county land. So that's a major project that we've been focusing a good deal of our attention on, is the retention of that hospital in this area, because it is the main economical engine that we have here in Talbot County. Likewise, our county airport, a lot of people don't realize it, but that airport is the second busiest airport in the state of Maryland.
Wow.
And so it is also an economical engine. Mike Henry and his staff up there have done a wonderful job in making that a profitable enterprise in the county. And not one cent, and I want to say this because not 1 cent of tax dollars go into that airport. So he's been able to do that just through revenues from the fuel and through grants from the federal government. So my hat goes off to him and his staff for making it a very profitable enterprise.
Yeah, and you can see that expanding. I mean, over the past, 10 years or so, you can just see.
But watch that word
expanding.
expansion, because that tends to send people running the other way.
Well, should I say growing?
We've had to make some improvements to the airport. Of course, the tower went up 2 years ago. The runway, which we're mandated to lengthen that runway, and of course that's been a hot button issue. A lot of misinformation has gone around with that airport and with that runway. So we've been having Mike and his group have been having open forums to the public to come get information about that runway. And so I hope people will take time to do some investigation on that process and understand that we're not trying to expand. I said, watch that word expansion. We're not trying to expand the runway to bring in bigger aircraft. This is all mandated through the FAA, that runway is lengthened due to an incident that took place, I believe, back in 1994, where an aircraft overshot a runway and went into an adjacent highway and actually killed a mother and a little boy. And after that incident, the FAA came back and looked at the runways around the nation, and those which were in close proximity to highways and roadways, they made a recommendation or a mandate those runways would have to be moved back from those roadways. So this is not something that's been generated through the county or through Mike Henry. This comes down from the FAA, and that's why we're doing it.
Oh, okay. Let's go back to the plans with the hospital. With the current location, what are the plans for the current location? Say they do move out to, where they're, talking about moving that now.
Right. Well, the facility that's in town now, I don't know the specifics of how that will be maintained throughout the coming years. Of course, they just spent a good deal of money with the emergency room.
Right.
So I don't expect that. This is just me speaking. Again, I haven't talked with any of the hospital officials. At least they're not sharing information with us at this time. I can only suspect that you probably will see some measure of ER care there at that facility. What will happen to the other wings of the hospital, I don't know. There was some talk about maybe it be turned into senior housing.